Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today's topic is self-driving cars, so without further ado, let's get started. To most people, the thought of your car driving itself is still science fiction. It used to be that a self-driving car looked like this. However, just in the past few years, significant progress has been made in the field and other serious competitors have entered the market. According to some vendors, the future of so-called autonomous vehicles could be just around the corner. So the question remains when? When will we actually see these cars who can completely drive themselves? In this video, I will look into when autonomous vehicle technology will be good enough to be released to the public, as well as try to predict when it will be part of our everyday lives. Let's start at the beginning. So by definition, a car's autonomous ability falls into one of 6 levels from 0 to 5. Level 5 being fully autonomous. Many vendors claim to have a level 3 or level 4 autonomy already. To understand what this means, let me just quickly run through the levels so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So it's pretty easy to understand what level 0 is. That's what you have today in a completely normal car, where you have to do everything yourselves, steering, braking, etc. Level 1 is when the car can assist you with one of these things, meaning the car, for example, is able to keep the distance to the car in front of you, but the driver will have the responsibility for steering. Level 2 means that now the car is able to do several things at once. However, as a driver, you'll have to be focused on the driving conditions and take over immediately if required. Level 3 means that the driver can now hand over responsibility to the car. He's allowed to focus on other stuff than driving, but will have to take over within a 10-second period if necessary. Level 4 means the driver is not needed in certain situations. A good example of this would be when you drive on the freeway, you can put your level 4 car in autonomous mode. An advanced level 4 system can even mean the car can perform fully autonomous tasks within a geo-fenced area, such as a city. I believe this is what most vendors refer to as full autonomy. Lastly, level 5 is when the driver is not needed in any situation. This means that the vehicle can perform all necessary actions by itself, and there's never a need for a driver to step in. It also means that the car is not contained within a city, but can go anywhere there are roads. This is also by far the hardest level to reach, and might still be a good while away. So to answer the question, I will focus on when automakers and vendors believe they'll reach a level of autonomy good enough to introduce to the public. This will usually be an advanced and thoroughly tested level 4 system. I will also look at any obstacles that may postpone the process. For this purpose I have chosen some of the most well-known and advanced players. These are Volkswagen, Uber, Tesla, General Motors and Waymo. Volkswagen is one of the world's largest automakers. Their most serious attempt at self-driving is through their subsidiary Audi. Audi is Volkswagen's luxury brand, and since autonomous hardware still costs a lot of money, this is where it makes the most economic sense to start deploying autonomous functionality. Audi currently has a level 3 system in their production car, the 2018 Audi A8, which has been made possible in cooperation with Nvidia. This is very much in line with what Audi said at CES last year, where they claim to have a production model with level 4 autonomous capabilities on the roads in 2020. However, even as this may qualify as a level 4 system, Audi does not refer to it as fully autonomous. Audi's partner Nvidia, however, came out saying late last year that they expect fully autonomous cars on the roads in 4 years, so by 2021. Uber's business plan has long been to replace their drivers with computer software, but as recent events have shown us, their autonomous software is far from ready. By definition, level 3 software will give the driver time to react if there's an upcoming obstacle that cannot be handled. I therefore believe the recent tragic accident shows us that currently, Uber is still just testing level 2 software in their cars. The lack of progress doesn't seem to inhibit Uber's ambition though. They believe to have fully autonomous cars on the road by the middle of 2019 and currently have plans to purchase and deploy 24,000 Volvo SUVs between 2019 and 2021. Tesla is probably the automaker best known for their autonomous capabilities with autopilot. However, after a very bad breakup with Mobileye in 2016, the automaker was left having to start over basically from scratch. This means that the new autopilot system seen in Teslas around the world is no better than level 2 autonomy. Just like with Uber, this doesn't seem to contain the optimism of Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who recently stated that he believes full autonomy to happen already by the end of 2019. Elon is known for his ambitious goals though, and has claimed full autonomy to be 2 years away since 2015. But before totally dismissing Tesla as a contestant in the race towards full autonomy, it has to be said that they have a very different strategy than their competitors, which might actually leapfrog them ahead of even the most advanced competition. This is something I will make a whole other video about soon, So if you go ahead and subscribe, I'll keep you updated on that. General Motors acquired Cruise Automation in 2016 for $1 billion to catch up with the competition in the autonomous car space. Since the acquisition, GM seems to be betting heavily on autonomous cars. Having already built the concept cars with neither steering wheel nor pedals, as well as developed an app for ride-sharing, GM believes this future will happen in a matter of months instead of years. More specifically, during 2019, GM will deploy autonomous fleets in several cities for ride-hailing and other commercial purposes. At the moment, GM claims to be running level 4 technology in their cars. Lastly, we have Waymo. Waymo was Google's self-driving division spun off to be an independent company under the Alphabet umbrella. Having had test cars on the street since 2009 and driving more than 5 million real miles as well as 5 billion miles in simulation, it is no wonder they can also claim a level 4 autonomous ability and have done so for the better part of a year. Though Waymo sometimes refer to their vehicles as fully autonomous, they have not yet felt comfortable releasing their tech to the public. However, Waymo will start up their own ride-hailing service in Phoenix later this year. To start out, they'll offer trips for free and have an employee sit in the back seat. The company has indicated that it will scale the fleet to a few thousand over the first years, but by 2020, Waymo and their partner Jaguar will start putting up to 20,000 electric Jaguar I-Pace on the roads in different cities. Google has had almost a decade to perfect autonomous driving, as well as having enormous in-house expertise on machine learning and large amounts of data handy for simulation. Waymo is, in my opinion, the clear leader in the field, but even so, they seem cautious in their rollout of the technology, ramping up very slowly in just one city to begin with. Autonomous car vendors have to report a safety metric to the US state they operate in called miles per disengagement. This shows how long the vehicle can drive on its own before the driver has to take over. In 2017, both GM and Waymo drove into hundreds of thousands of autonomous miles in the state of California. The data shows that a Waymo car on average drives more than 4 times as far before the driver has to disengage. This is just one of the reasons I think there's a disconnect between GM's belief that they will have autonomous fleets with thousands of cars out in a matter of months, and Waymo, who seems to be very much ahead of the game, is moving much slower. This brings me to my next point. So if Waymo is ahead of GM, is GM just being optimistic then, believing they can deploy fully autonomous cars faster than Waymo, or are they being careless? At the moment there's no federal regulation, and state regulation, even in the more tech-savvy states such as California, is lacking at best. So in the end, when to release self-driving cars for commercial purposes is a cost-benefit calculation made by the vendor. In a highly competitive environment as this, vendors can be pressured into releasing the technology too soon, with the potential for fatal accidents and a following negative sway in public opinion. It's sort of a prisoner's dilemma, where the early bird can potentially get the worm or hurt themselves as well as the rest of the industry. The real poster children for disaster here are Tesla and Uber, with several lethal accidents under their belt. Tesla might be partly excused since they have implemented several safety measures to make sure the driver is aware, but Uber's reckless approach has already got them suspended from testing in California and Arizona. Hopefully we will get clear regulation, both in the US and the rest of the world, before autonomous cars become widely available to the public. Regulation will also be a necessity in states and countries with existing laws in place which prevent self-driving. According to a very recent study from Deloitte, consumer confidence in autonomous vehicles are on the rise. However, 47% of Americans still believe autonomous cars will not be safe, but 71% would be willing to ride in them if they had a proven safety record. I believe this shows that the technology still has to prove itself before being widely accepted by the public. So to sum up, it seems fully autonomous ride-sharing will be available to a lucky few already in 2018. However, most vendors seem to target somewhere between 2019 to 2021. And it is in this period I believe we will start to see a mass adaptation of autonomous vehicles by the public. Personally, I believe regulation and public opinion will fall into place as the technology gets a chance to prove itself. If all goes well, I think we'll see an aggressive ramp up by many different vendors, and we'll have access to autonomous cars in most of the world within the next 5 years. So, when do you guys think we'll start seeing autonomous cars in the streets? Who do you think has the best self-driving technology right now? Please let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see more videos like this one, please click the subscribe button and ring that bell. I'm Peter, and this was Tech Analyst.